Alright guys, it's been a few days since I filmed last. But I did really want to show you my trailer. I actually got it wrapped. And I got some decals put on my trailer. And I just really wanted to show you guys. If you're not friends with me on Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram, you haven't saw this yet. But I did share it on all those platforms first. But guys, this is literally insane. I may do another video just dedicated to the trailer, but holy shit, did these guys just outdo themselves getting this thing done up. Hunter tuned, dyno tuning, and performance auto repair. It's got all my social medias there and my website. Auto Trim Design Nina is who did this. They did an awesome job, and they designed a lot of it. And yeah, we got competition clutch sponsor, Schaefer's and VS Racing, all on here as well. And the back of the trailer, we just have the Hunter Tuned logo here. And then on this side, it's the same thing. Hopefully it's not too dark and you can see this. But so badass, so happy with that. Turned out fucking amazing. And old New Edge. Didn't tell you about that thing yet, but we're gonna make some videos on that stuff. I've just been kind of scattered lately and not knowing really what I want to film and what I should film. I don't know. There's so much shit going on in the world right now that it's tough for me to wanna film, I guess. I don't know. Hello, welcome back to Hunter Tuned. Today we got a little bit of a project car on our hands that got dropped off to the shop, and we're gonna just dive into it and see if we can maybe get it fixed a little bit or running a little bit better. So this is a little bit different. This is kind of like a drift car. It's a Hyundai Genesis with a it's got an LS swap, so that's pretty cool. It I don't know what axle. I think it's a 5.3, just like a truck motor, and it has the LS1 intake. Still running mass airflow. I actually did a ECU for this guy a while back, and the car runs and drives on the base map ECU that I gave him. But he said when he dropped it off, he complained that the car would just kind of die off after half throttle and not have any power. So we're gonna maybe just try to plug into it and see why it's doing that. But there is a lot of little things with this car that should be addressed before I even touch it. It's got a lot of wiring stuff that really needs to be cleaned up. The engine oil dipstick is not really, I don't even know if it's in the motor or not. It's very loose. It needs to be, held up and bracketed for sure. There's no antifreeze in the car, it doesn't seem. Nothing in there. He said that the battery drains. If he leaves the battery plugged in, it kills the battery. He was saying that the alternator was draining it, but I don't know how an alternator would drain your battery. We got a bare wire down there on the alternator that we should probably fix. And then he's got this just powered into the fuse panel. Whatever fuse panel is left of this car, I don't know what that is. I think this is wideband stuff. It looks like this looks like a wideband power and ground. The fuel line coming up is doing a loop, touching the header almost. Actually, it was touching the header. You can see there where the fuel feed line was resting on the header. He has this AN hose clamped onto the plastic feed line, which if you hose clamp onto this stuff tight enough, I'm sure the plastic will crack. If you wanted to do something like this, I would probably just take this off and hose clamp it onto the fuel rail here. Yeah, and then we have a lot of like grounds, a lot of butt connectors, and a lot of shielding wire. Like all this looks kind of scary. All these butt connectors on the mass airflow. Got some bare wires on the injectors here. Like all this. What is all this? I have no idea. Yeah, we got relay here. Oil stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Got Harbor Freight 24 mil socket. Plugging that off. Alright guys, so we did get the Hyundai all strapped down onto the dyno. Making sure all the straps are nice and tight. We got the HP tuner plugged into this thing. And it does have a cam position code, which I'm not sure why. He said he swapped the sensor and did some stuff like that. There's a lot of slack in this throttle cable here that needs to be addressed. I just drove it for like, I don't even know, a minute on the dyno, and I immediately just stopped because the throttle was hanging open and it has some issues. So down here where the gas pedal is, if I look at that, it just sticks. It stays right on the floor. Look at that, I can't even bring it back up because this carpet right here, I'm gonna cut this shit out of here because I'm not having no runaway situation gonna happen on my watch. So we're gonna cut that little piece of carpet out of there, and then probably just get this throttle adjusted a little better because there is just all sorts of slack in here. And I'm assuming that it's not going wide open. The little bit I was driving it on the dyno, it seems like it runs perfectly fine. He said that something issue like half throttle, it would just kind of shut off. But I also noticed that there was no TPS signal coming into the HP tuner. So there's no throttle position for some reason or another. I don't know why. Check out the plug here. That plug looks a little smushed. Might not be making connection. Let's hope that's the issue. We'll have to address that here in a second. Yeah. There's literally no water in this thing at all. So we're gonna have to at least put water in this thing a little bit so we can drive it on the dyno. We're just trying to get some stuff sorted out on that thing so he can clean it all up. That's what he wants me to do. He just wants it to run right, and then clean it up later. So that's what we're gonna try to do. All right, so I think I got the throttle as good as it's gonna get for now. There's no more slack up here, or it's just a proper amount of slack up here. I got that tightened down. And then in the car, I did cut a little piece of the carpet out, and they like made a pedal in this thing. I don't know what the heck. Like this bracket is supposed to be kind of mounted somewhere, I would think. And I got the pedal not sticking anymore, but this pedal cable situation is fairly sketchy. Yeah. So I guess now I'm going to drive it on the dyno and see if it explodes. I don't know. I'm just doing what the customer wants me to do. I'm gonna make sure this fucking fuel line isn't gonna rest on the header anymore. I'm gonna at least zip tie that out of the way, and then verify that this TPS issue is maybe just in the pin. I'm gonna check that, and then we'll do some rips, hopefully. Alright guys, we are going to just see what this thing's gonna do on the map that I already flashed on the ECU, just to kind of get a baseline and see where everything's at and if this thing's gonna be okay or not. It's got long tube headers, it's pretty loud, and it should make power, but hopefully everything else is gonna work. wideband plugged into this thing, and right when I initially hit it, it is doing okay. And right when I, 1 second here. So right when I initially smack this thing, it runs like, 11, 8, 12 something air fuel, and then it just slowly runs away lean, and it's running out of fuel some way, somehow, some shape, some way. So, it sucks because these LS1 fuel rails do not, I don't think they have a spot to check the fuel pressure on them. So that would be another thing that I would probably look for, and maybe, oh yeah, they're right here, sweet. All right, so that's what we're going to do next is we're just going to verify fuel pressure on this thing to see if it's maintaining fuel pressure. And if it is maintaining fuel pressure, then we will go into the tune and see what on the tune is wrong. But that's our first step, and what we need to verify is the fuel pressure. Alright guys, picking up on the Hyundai. It's the next day now. I was out here last night kind of messing with the Mustang a little bit, and we had the Mustang up on the hoist, and we're actually kind of just stitching up some of the where the cross member mounts to the body. And we're actually just kind of cleaning all this up and welding it solid instead of the stitch welds and stuff that hold it factory. Just to kind of help strengthen up the car a little bit. And we're cleaning up the welds on the anti-roll, and we moved some of the bracketry for the anti-roll so it's nice and straight now, because before one of my anti-roll bars was a little bit crooked. So anyways, this thing last night definitely has some glitches with the wiring. Sometimes when I'm data logging it works, sometimes when I'm data logging it doesn't work, and like I said, this wiring just really needs to be cleaned up. I'm doing the best I can with this thing, with the car that I have. We got the fuel situation straightened out. We verified the fuel pressure is actually a little bit higher than it should be. It's at about 70 psi of fuel pressure. And like I said, this is a deadhead system. It's not a return style, which is what I usually prefer to tune with. The tune, when I initially set this thing up, was actually set up for a return style, not returnless. And the tune does change a little bit with, having a return style or returnless. Plus, this guy doesn't have the truck injectors that it was set up for, so I had to change all that stuff in the tune. And I've just been taking the ECU in and out of the car to make changes, because I can't actually do any changes with the HP tuner through the OBD2 port with this car, because it doesn't communicate. So I have my bench flasher set up here, and this bench flasher is literally just, I plug it into the wall and I turn on my ignition switches with the box, and then I've been flashing the ECU, literally taking it out of the car, bringing it here, making a change, doing a dyno run, bringing it back, etc., etc. And when this thing came in, guys, I think you saw the power that it was making. It was making like 100 horsepower or something like that, and the curve was just like flat and downhill. Now we actually have a curve that looks good. It's coming up, it's flattening out. This is a bone stock 4.8 engine, so it's not going to make huge power, but I think we made like 230 foot-pounds of torque. And once again, with this car not being able, no tack or nothing in it, I can't sync the dyno with the tack. So, yeah. So I think if these numbers were not actually 2,000 RPM, you know, where it says it made 236 foot-pounds of torque at 2 grand, it's obviously a little wrong. So those numbers naturally are going to be a little bit higher if the tack was set right. But yeah, we're just going to maybe do another duplicate check on this thing and make sure it's still good to go. And guys going to come get it and hopefully clean up a lot of this wiring stuff and maybe bring it back for some finalization. Yeah, this thing would really benefit from a cam and valve springs, considering it has a pretty good exhaust on it, long tube headers, all that stuff. But yeah. In other news, we got my 07 Civic up on the hoist, and I wanted to show you what I'm doing to this thing. We have the exhaust on the header removed because I'm actually installing a new Skunk 2 full-length header. So these headers, this is like an NVIDIA or something like that, a lot smaller runner than what is on the Skunk 2 Alpha. This is a lot larger primary tube, and it steps up, and then up again, where this one's just really tiny runners, really short header, and it just goes right into the factory catalytic converter, which we are going to be deleting with this new header. And yeah, I'm going to throw this on. I did a dyno run actually the other day with the car exactly how it was stock, and I think we made like 182 or 187 horsepower, completely bone stock with just this part of the exhaust and a catback. So this has a Skunk 2 Mega Power catback, I believe. It's like a 2.5 inch deal. Should work pretty well for what I'm trying to do with this thing. And yeah, I'm just going to get this header bolted back on, the new one. And once it's bolted back on, I may pick up and do some more on this thing. Maybe see how it sounds afterwards. I didn't really do it before and after. I probably should have, but I didn't. And these things are a lot of fun to work on because you have the big old subframe right here and the exhaust comes out of the back of the motor instead of on the front like normal Honda stuff. So yeah, learning how to work on these things is kind of cool. And yeah, on the top you also have to take off like the windshield wiper fucking deal and this little cowl piece to get back there and take the bolts out. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna get this header bolted on. I just wanted to show you kind of a comparison here. And my buddy was actually telling me that these converters are actually worth quite a bit of money, so it might actually pay off paying for this expensive header, but I know that these headers do make the best power from what I'm told. And if you guys need any Skunk 2 parts or anything like that, I am a dealer for them now, so I can help you guys out and get you parts if you need them. So yeah, let's get this new awesome fucking header installed onto this thing. Wow. They even have all this stuff like port matched inside of here, which is cool. Alrighty guys, so I got my new header installed onto the Civic now. It's just sitting out here waiting to take me home for the night. So this thing definitely barks a lot louder than it did before, and it sounds awesome. Like, it sounds mean. So I'm hopefully going to be able to try to find a Tatrix cable. Tomorrow I might have a guy that's willing to bring it up by me, and I'm going to try to tune that Civic on Honda Tuning Suite. So that's going to be something that's going to be really interesting to see if it's going to work, how it's going to work. There's not a lot of people that have tested it yet, so I'm going to be kind of a test dummy and see if I can't get that thing to bark and make some good power, have some cool two-step and ignition cut, rev limiters, and all that fun stuff without having the cost of Flash Pro. So that's going to be hopefully what we do with that thing. If the HTS stuff doesn't work out how I want, I'll probably just get Flash Pro for it, but for the time being. that's what we're going to try to do. And yeah, this thing is going to be coming up on the channel very soon too. A little bit of hairspray action on this thing very soon. Yeah, got a good deal on this car, and yeah, it's kind of Christine's car. And then I'm waiting on some parts for the Mustang. I did order a bunch of Team Z stuff, but they're a little behind, obviously, like everybody is right now. And yeah, so I don't even know where this video is going, what we all did in it. Let me know what you guys want to see. I have a few days to myself right now, and I'm kind of like, what the fuck do I do, you know? I'd like to maybe do some more dynoing on the purple car tomorrow or the next day possibly, and see what kind of power we can get out of a set of stock flex injectors like I saw on my website. Kind of see like max potential, max effort for those injectors and see how much power I can make. I think that'd be a good video. And then obviously we want to do some stuff with this new car. It's a New Edge Mustang GT. I'll probably introduce it in a video. But Ford motor, it's got a kit, it's got a nitrous kit on it, and we're gonna maybe send it. I've got a Bama tuner that I'm playing with a little bit here and there. Any of that stuff interests you guys, just let me know. I try to film as much stuff as I can, but at the end of the day, it's kind of nice just to chillax and do me for a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I haven't been entertaining in this video or anything because I didn't really have like a set plan for a video. So I'm kind of just like having a bunch of clips thrown into one just to get something out for you guys. If anybody needs some chipped ECUs, I'm going to have a bunch of them in stock here pretty soon. A couple of them at least for like HTS computers if you guys need one. What else? The website's still running strong. Hopefully the post office doesn't close, because if they close, then you know website's going to be down for a little while, which is going to suck. Roy's going to come get this beast here pretty soon. I can't wait to show him this thing all done and set up. I have a whole bunch of AN line to do a catch can on my purple car very soon. I could put the flex plate in the Mustang, I suppose. There's some stuff that I can do definitely out here. I just don't know what I want to film or what you guys want to see. Like, you want to see me pull the tranny on the Mustang to put the flex plate in? Probably not. Yeah, all that stuff's kind of boring. If anybody is interested in this header, it is a Megan Racing short ram header for a K-Series. If anybody wants to buy that, I'll sell it very cheap. If anybody is interested in these cams I have, Skunk 2 Tuner 2 cams, PM me, DM me, email, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Skunk 2 Tuner 2 camshafts right there. I think that's really kind of it for parts that I have at the moment. I may have some other stuff, but I really want to ditch them cams, and I want to ditch some other stuff. I don't know what. I'm going to try to maybe find some for sale stuff and sell some things. Yeah, liquidate a little bit. Anybody wants a D16 cast iron top mount? It's brand new. I never used it. I may keep it around. I'm not sure. Anybody want this bike? Me and the girl kind of agreed like we may just kind of ditch this thing and get some nicer bikes for ourselves. We'll see though. I don't know. This bike, we probably just want a couple $100 for it. It ran good. It's just the carbs are off of it right now. It's like an 82 Honda CM400. It's a nice bike. It's got brand new tires on it. I don't know. I'm babbling like a fucking crazy person right now, and I don't really care. I'm just filming, and you guys can watch or you don't have to. That's fine. Yeah. I don't know what else I got. Thanks for sticking with me and watching these videos. I'm kind of surprised the videos haven't gotten more views with the coronavirus being around. Everybody's kind of stuck at home watching videos. So share them, I guess, with your friends and family. Comment down below. And like, comment, subscribe, whatever. See you later. Have a great night and a better tomorrow. Peace out.